So the story starts a bit abruptly, with you carrying a large shield that is way too heavy. You carry your shield towards a barbarian, whom you consider to be your second mother, the moment your name is called. Since this is an interactive fiction, you actually get to choose your name. Insert a deep in thought emoji here, guys. So I decided to go with horse as a name. However, since I actually mention horses in the story, I thought this might be confusing, so I went with the name Horsey instead. By the way, this name choice will make sense in the story. Now back to the story. Once you give her the large shield, she thanks you by rubbing the top of your head. You get to decide what hairstyle is actually on the top of your head. For instance, are you bald or do you have braids? Those are just the two examples. By the way, choosing braids actually has some additional dialogue because that's her hairstyle as well. And then this is where that previous choice of choosing the character's name to be Horsey starts to make sense. So some background story. The young barbarians or orcs don't actually develop consciousness until they are much older. So that's why in this flashback none of your second mother's words makes any sense, despite being 6 years old. In the middle of your flashback, your second mother walks out of the tent, armed with a shield and an axe. You quickly step out of the tent, and you are immediately greeted by the smell of sweat and rotten flesh. All around you, your fellow barbarians march out of the camp. You want to follow your second mother, but you know that you are just too young to be in the front lines with her. You are only 6 years old, so you have to go stand with the reserve. She bids you farewell and you make your way to stand with the reserve, who are all barbarians that are around your age. As you make your way towards them though, you bump into a larger and much older barbarian who has yellow beady eyes and rough green skin. The moment you bump into him, you fall onto your buttocks and he releases a dry long laugh. His laugh is grating to hear and sounds like it is filled with phlegm. He stands over you armed with a bone that has been sharpened into a spear. You consider whether you should lower your gaze in submission or stare at him defiantly. Filled with anger of being pushed to the ground and